Welcome back. This is Lone Wolf, and we are playing Vintage Story on the Ara Fury world named Crystal Seas, and we are using version 120.12. And I just need to do an update on the state of the base. So we start off a little bit away from the base and come in here. And now you can start to see it in its glory. We've got sheep, we've got trees, we've got a beautiful purple building with some windmills, a dock with a sailboat in it. But the real attraction is this. This is what I consider to be, from all the ruins that I have seen in the game, and from better ruins, this is the ruin named St Adrian. It gets its name, or I call it that, because there's this beautiful little obsidian obelisk that, when looked at in a non-spectator mode view, it actually has the text built by St Adrian. So this is the St Adrian base. I think it's spectacular. And one of the things that we're going to do in this video is I'm going to show you one that I have done nothing to versus this one that I have made alterations. Dare I use the word improvements? I don't know. We've planted a redwood tree here. Oh my goodness, the crimson maple. We've got a purple heart tree here. In this mode, none of the tooltips show up, so you won't see the name of anything. We've got a purple heart grove growing here. A lovely garden, by far not my largest, and definitely not my smallest, but for most people this is a stupidly large farm. I've got 4 sections of rice planted, 4 sections plus of cabbage, and I've got 4 sections of flax growing. I've grown lots of peanuts here, so I have peanuts to last me for years. I was fortunate enough so we have 2 bases on the Crystal Seas world now. This one is located at 44K south. The original one in the salt biome is located at 7K south. So we're a long ways from our northern home. And the one thing I didn't want to do is start over with my sheep, so I've set some traps when there were some lambs, and had a lot of traps sprung, but eventually I got 2 sheep captured. I wanted to capture more, but the ewes kept breaking the traps, and so I brought the 2 down, and can you believe how lucky I am? I got both a ewe and a ram from those 2 sheep that I brought down. So these sheep are almost all up to level 30. I think the ram might be level 31. But so we've got our sheep here. And originally, after clearing out all the bad guys in this ruin, of which there are many, and they are not simple, I started stacking up chests and crates here, and putting things along the wall. Wow, what is going on? That's really weird. Anyways, I put up a lantern here and a lantern there. I don't know what that jerk is going on there. And then I cleaned out all the dead grass and all the dead crops. I did put in a door here so that I could get up and down from here, as that sure made it easier to get down to the farm. Cleaned out all the rooms. And this one was originally what I was using for a storage room here. Had lights in it, put a door on it. So this is the purple heart that I planted, and the crimson maple and the redwood. Those are the only trees I planted. This is a little farm that already exists. And instead of using it as a farm, I thought that these beautiful flowers, oh, I'm not even going to be able to remember the name. Oh well, you know what they are, and if you don't, we'll figure it out later. But yeah, I cleaned out all the dead stuff, got rid of all the grass. There used to be a door right here at the top of these stairs. That's for this room here. And you'll see in the before and after pictures of how I've changed things. There was all kinds of clutter. There was a little recess right here. And I've cleaned it all up, filled in things. And this is where I had put my workshop, but there was no windmill or any kind of automation in here. Still got bamboo sitting in here, fire pits. Go up to the next level. This was almost all beams. You really could not use this level because there was no floor. And so I went along with the concept of what was down here, and I made the floor out of the mud brick. And then this room here, cleaned what for me is just rubble and garbage out of here. But if you notice in the back corner here, there is a beehive, and this beehive is in fact in the St Adrian ruins. This ruin comes from the Better Ruins mod, by the way. And so we wanted to start bees here, so my base mate Goose Chucker came up and put in the dirt and the flowers and put in a skep, which we've taken one to start our bees with. So this is this room, and right here is where that door was that I said there used to be a door here. All right, let's continue on. Go into this room. Got a big stove. It's got a lower level here. It had all kinds of what I would consider to be junk in it, and I've cleaned it out. I've left that owl chest there. And then there's an upstairs, and this had a bunch of junk. And I just turned this into a bedroom. I left those bookshelves there. I think all the windows we've seen so far were already in this ruin. And then this room here, once I decided there wasn't enough room on the top where I said I was placing chests and such, this became my storage room. So this was all lined with chests. There were chests over here. There's chests on this side. But if you've seen how I play, you know that I probably quickly, and I did, ran out of space in there. This room here, just like the other one, this was mostly beams. It had some wood floor in it, and it had these windows in it, but you couldn't use this level. It had a ladder that came down to here. And I have added these windows, and I modified what happened out here. This seemed like a natural area for some steps down. And that is it for all of the rooms in this ruin. So I decided, I used to have a trough up up here for my elk that I'd feed him. And he'd wander all over the place, which was fine. But I just decided, there's just not enough room in here to play the way that I like to play. So then I built this. I originally had this all out of polished granite rock. And then my base mate, Goose Chucker, came down one time, collected plenty of purple heart. I had some purple heart. I assume he had to collect some more. And so he used the planer tool, I assume, and pushed the walls back and filled it in with this beautiful purple heart. And he did that around the whole thing. And he also built the dock. I built these windmills here before Goose Chucker moved down. Goose Chucker hasn't had a lot of time to play, so he's only recently moved down here. I had my original, again, using the mud brick to kind of go with the theme. Mud brick in here. So now this is my main work area. You see, I've got all the crates and chests along the lot walls. I've got paintings and tapestries. And as you go out the door, this is where my pinup girls go. I think this one here comes from Better Rooms, but I'm not sure about that. So we've got the pulverizer all automated. Got the quern all automated. And the 4 helve hammers all automated. Each of them have a transmission and clutch, which you can access from this level. So you open the trap door and click on engage the clutch to the transmission, and things go pounding. Same thing with the quern and the pulverizer. So I've got my ovens here. This is nothing like Goose Chucker likes for his kitchen. He modified what we had in the north, and he put 16 ovens in, which was new to me. I've only ever used 4. And then I've got the 4 tables for putting pies together and stuff. And got a little bit of flower pots and some colorful vessels lying around about, trying to make it look a little nicer. So then I dug this level out. And this is where I put 8 fire pits for doing things like cooking lime for quick lime, or flint to turn it into calcined flint, and then powdered flint, and then add red clay to that, and then you get fire clay. Then I've put in my leather workstation here and my pit kilns. I don't have the beehive kiln here. We do have one of those in the northern base. You can see I've found some carpets along the way, and I've tried to make it look nicer than I usually make my bases look. So here you can see all the gearing. This is coming down straight from the windmills here. And then I geared off that, come down to another large gear, and then I have my 3 takeoffs off your windmills for your automation. And there's my beautiful elk. So then I came down here and I built a cellar. No need for a 7x7, but this is pretty good size. All of these up here are peanuts, all from what I grew literally years ago. And these just hold various things. We've got 3 or 4 storage vessels full of breadfruit, and we've got rice and flax and cured red meat in here, even some vintage beef. And this is where I'm salting some more red beef. So we've got the salt right there. So then it was time. I hadn't made any charcoal here. So I was like, I got to make a place for charcoal. So I came down here and I just took a block off here So you can see there's this one block. On the other side of this block is the cellar. But that's all I needed was one block to keep the cellar a cellar. And then I used the stone quarry tools. And I cut this area out. And I'm prepared to make it larger if I need to. So I finally did make a charcoal pit. It's not a huge one, but as you can see, I've gotten quite a bit of charcoal out of it. This contains all my refractory brick items, and I've got, this is a tier 3 cementation furnace, and I've made 3 batches of steel with it. So this is the base. For me, there's only one fruit worth growing, and that would be breadfruit. And originally, Basemate Goose Chucker had put some southern fruit trees that would never grow up at our north base. And so these are not all fruit tree. They are almost all fruit trees. And it's a lot of them. And some of them are ripening at different times than others. So while I've harvested most of them for this season, there's more to harvest. And without doing a lot of work, you can't get all the fruit off the top. And frankly, I get so much, I don't worry about it. But finding all this breadfruit, none of these are from cuttings of my own trees. This is from me wandering around the world, finding breadfruit trees and taking cuttings from them. So it's too hot down here for fruit to grow, as in normal fruit, the currants, blueberries, cranberries, and the currants. And so originally I had built this road that came out to that box, because that's where you accessed the tunnel. And I built it over here, and I cut through this here, and then turned the corner here, and made a stairway up the side of this mountain. I mean, you can see how nasty this thing is to try to navigate. It is one steep son of a gun. So I've put stairs in, I've lined it with sandstone like I have been doing. And I've filled everything underneath it with granite so that it's obviously well supported. And so here's our berry patch, which we don't use because I haven't run out of breadfruit yet, so I haven't had to tap in. So we've got 2 tree cubes of pine, and I just added this tree cube of oak. And as you can see, I've built some structure around it, because to be honest with you, I hate harvesting these. But with this structure that I have on it now, I don't mind it at all. And since I plan on cutting and planting and cutting and planting, I've just made a permanent thing to make it so I don't hate it. This is where our bees are. Goose Chucker put this in, and he went with these beautiful what are they? I mean, they're poppies. They changed the name. They used to be California poppies. Now they're golden poppies. So we've got bees, actual tree farms. I mean, we have the other trees growing around down on the bottom. Thank you so much for taking your time and choosing to watch this video. I appreciate it. If you like what I'm doing, please consider subscribing, and please do click on that like button for my videos. And I love hearing from you, so Please feel free to comment, ask any questions. I'm always happy to help. But mostly come watch my next video, won't you? Thank you so much, and goodbye.